I've had a lot going on, both personally, technically, tech wise, and also like household wise. So I haven't been feeling like streaming. I've basically just felt like playing Marvel Rivals. Um, and I've been joking that I've been self medicating with Marvel Rivals, but also admitting to myself and others that I am medicating myself with Marvel Rivals. Better than cookies and alcohol. Um, so, uh, I got in a bit of I don't know if I want to do this anymore, and I don't know what state I want to do this anymore, and also what is this? Um, because some I don't know some honesty. It's summer vacation, and it's really difficult to stream with my kids in the house. I love my daughters. I like that I'm in a situation where I have the means to be in my daughter's lives. And that is the path that I am choosing. It's not the path of money, it is the path of being a dad. And I am the house support class. And it is a thankless job, but it is a meaningful job and it pays room and board. So it's pretty good. Shout out to my awesome wife, Jess, part time producer of the Shady Rogues, part time therapist to me, and full time mom and breadwinner. So I love you. Um, but it's difficult to maintain my sanity and stream. So that's kind of like one thing, being dad during summer. And I've done the streaming thing long enough to know that it's just kind of hard to fit. And I'm pretty sure this happened like last year too. Like it's just streaming dropped off because the kids don't want to get out of bed. It's a fight to get them fed. The struggle is real. If you've got kids, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Um, so that's kind of one thing. I was having technical issues because I needed to update Windows 10 to 11, and I was having difficulties getting OBS and Twitch streaming working. And it's just the tech issues that one has to deal with, emphasis on like one person doing things. You know, the Shady Rogues is a labor of love, and it's a one man show. And sometimes I rope people to play video games and talk on stream. Um, so it was difficult, like all that. Okay, so tech stuff, which I hope is ironed out. Also, just as kind of another thing on the tech end, um, my brand new computer that I was able to purchase, I purchased it pre-built from a website. I'm blanking on which one. This is not paid promotion or anything like that. But at my point, at this point in life, I want to just have it done, and it was still a pain in the ass. Um, a little bit of insight into Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals was particularly bad at working with NVIDIA cards, and I got a newer graphics card. It was like the newest graphics card that I ever got. It's like, I think it's one of the 5000 series. I don't speak graphics card nerd lingo. I'm sorry. I don't want to be just disparaging to anybody that does. Um, I got an NVIDIA card that go vroom vroom, and it didn't work. Like, the drivers were not working to the point that I would play Marvel Rivals and my brand new computer would blue screen. And I couldn't tell where the problem was because I had never experienced that. It's so that was a headache, and trying to get that worked out. So that is a level of bullshittery that I didn't want to deal with. And then before school let out, I've had a family issue on my side that I am hesitant to talk about, but I am going to talk about a little bit just because I just want to put it out there. And I would much rather talk about the family issue on Jess's side because it's way more funny and political. Um, we have been waiting on the I'll put it this way, and you'll know what I'm saying if you know what I'm saying. There are some individuals on Jess's side of the family that we've been waiting for the leopard god to eat their faces. And it finally happened, and it caused a little bit, it caused a lot of family drama on Jess's side. And it really bothers her. She doesn't want me talking about it. I'm being like vague about it. I'm going to be honest. I really wish I could talk about it because it's funny and horrible. And it is very, very, very political. I'll leave it at that. The other thing that I'm dealing with is I don't have a lot of family left on my side of our household. And my grandmother, for those of you who know, my grandmother that I call Nanny, she passed away last year, and that has been difficult for me. I think there was a point in time like last year that I just didn't stream very much, and that was the family drama that I was dealing with. And this year, my mother has informed me that she has stage 4 breast cancer, and I'm not on good terms with my mom. And I definitely don't want to go into why I'm not on good terms with my mom. But this has pulled the rug out from under me, and I'm dealing with that. And I just want to be forthcoming with that. It's a lot of bullshit. It's not turtles all the way down. It's bullshit all the way down. And there it is. And then also, everything is going to hell. You know what I'm talking about if you're paying attention. I joke that me and Brent still get together and talk, but we don't stream it. Talking to Brent keeps me sane. We've got a really good rapport. Brent gets me, and I get Brent. We have a very similar sense of humor, and we speak the same language. And in another life, I would probably just have a podcast with him. But ain't nobody paying any bills on a podcast unless we're getting money from Russia. And that ain't happening in this timeline. So one of the fun, like, I'm really proud of like me and Brent shooting the shit playing City of Heroes. Like that is the stuff that we've done that I am most proud of. And if nobody watches it, if nobody comments on it, if like that is special to me. So, and that has been therapeutic for me to be able to do that. And I'm grateful for Brent humoring me in doing that. But right now I feel that City of Heroes is like a creative outlet. And I don't feel like being creative right now. I feel like just playing a video game and listening to something, which that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I love City of Heroes. At some point in time, I want to get back to it. I have a huge list of things, of characters that I want to make. My way of dealing with it is to write it down, and eventually I'll get to it. Eventually, at some point in time, I do want to. I want to stream that again, just because. Again, I love City of Heroes. I think it is something truly special. I wish the magic that saved the hard. I shouldn't say magic. The hard work and uh, and collaboration that saved a 20-plus-year-old video game from corporate dumbfuckery and copyright laws. I'm glad for the Robin Hoods that saved City of Heroes, and I wish they would maybe save something outside of a video game. I don't know. Maybe my words can inspire somebody. Uh, the United States needs your help, and the world at large. Paragon City is not real. Anyway, it's important to have art, and so I'll get back to it. I don't want to belabor that, but people ask questions, people they wonder. I'm trying to be forthcoming with that. So this is I am going to continue the Shady Rogues gaming channel. But like the homework, my heart's not in it. Watching Black Mirror was depressing me. And it's really hard trying to find time and energy on top of things to talk about a specific thing. And so we just fell out, like me and Brent just fell out of watching Black Mirror. And I looked at that like that's something more than streaming. It gets people engaged. It's a stepping stone in building the channel in some direction, whatever that is. I feel that doing this has strengthened my storytelling, my ability to communicate, my confidence. It is a social outlet. I hope it is a public good. Now that PBS and NPR is shuttering, I'm doing my part. I'm auditioning to be the new Mr. Rogers or Elmo. So if there's anybody, Oprah, if you want to, I don't know, pay off my student loans, I can do an Elmo voice. Joking, not joking. Anyway, I was actually really surprised how much PBS announcing that they're closing, they're shuttering. It hurt me because I learned my letters and numbers from Sesame Street, and I guess we just don't have money for that anymore because Cops and Bombs and settler colonialism, also known as genocide. So good times, great fun, fuck life. But I don't know, on a happier note, the thing that I want to do, and the thing that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I thought having scheduled, let's talk about a movie, let's talk about a particular movie that or TV show to expand com- com- complete strangers or maybe not so strangers on the internet. Hey, check this channel out. It might do you some good. And if not, take what is useful and discard the rest. Hey, I kind of looked at it as a stepping stone to strengthen whatever skills I'm getting from this. To get to another channel, I want to. I guess this is an announcement. I want to do the gaming on the gaming channel and talking like this with my little goblin man in his donut inner tube, gazing into the sunset. I don't know, Lute's Goblin story time, whatever, Oprah. This is my Elmo, a goblin that robs banks in a video game because the rent is too damn high. So I I want to get certain stories out into the void, and primarily I wanted to do this as a way to record memories and stories from my life that my daughters are not old enough to hear right now. Stories that I've told parts of or teased during streams, if you're paying attention, maybe. Maybe tell them better. Don't necessarily want to do it scripted, but at the same time, doing it off the cuff. There's a lot more ums and ahs, and some stories you only get really one chance to tell. So, in a lot of ways, the whatever I call this other channel, it's for my daughters. It's for me. It's my way of getting things out there that hopefully somebody can get something out of. I don't know, story time, essay, something like that. That's the vibe I'm going. And I guess my first one that I want to do is something that I'm going to tell a story. Gather around, kids. Mr. Rogers, who swears, is going to tell a story, but I am going to try to keep the wordy dirts to a minimum, because I don't know. It's fun for all ages, Oprah. Give me $1. I'm going to tell a story that happened yesterday. Yesterday was a good day. It was August the 2nd, a Saturday. It was a good day until it wasn't. Me and Jess went on something known as a date. We forked over some hard-earned dollars for a babysitter that we really trust. Shout out to Miss Amanda. Thank you. Me and Jess trust you with our children. They like you. That's great. Thanks. Take a drink. I'm gonna drink to Miss Amanda. We went out to eat, and we went to see the Fantastic Four movie. And I would have to turn in my nerd card, my Marvel fanboy card, if I didn't say Fantastic Four, really good movie. We both liked it. I did not love it. I loved Superman, but it was Fantastic Four was really good. I recommend it. At some point in time, I will express my thoughts on both Superman and Fantastic Four at a later date. That is not the point of this story. The point of my story comes at 8:45 p.m. when I was attempting to mow my yard. I have become a middle-aged man who enjoys mowing his yard. Teenage me would hate that. Mowing yards is something I did for money, but now I do it to be by myself and give myself a sense of accomplishment and keeping my yard neat and tidy. I don't do a very good job of it, but it is something I like to do. It gives me, I get away from the kids with just my thoughts. I am a crazy person that push mows a yard in Kentucky on at 44. I do it because I'm a crazy person, and I acknowledge that riding lawnmowers exist, but I don't use them. It's against my religion. Moving on. Again, not the point of this story. The point of the story is, whilst I was mowing my yard in somewhere Kentucky, not a real place, but that is my privacy settings, I look over, and I live in a suburb in somewhere Kentucky. I look over and I see a truck, a pickup truck, a flatbed truck, not a military truck, just a regular truck with a flatbed with a machine gun mounted on the bed of the truck. A machine gun. And for those of you who are aware, I am Nick of the Shady Rogues primarily. I'm not a fan of guns. And I have never had a need to own a gun. I've known too many people to lose their lives due to gun foolishness and stupidity and oopsie daisies and on purposes. And to look over and see a machine gun mounted on a truck driving by, I could not believe my eyes. And I really wanted to get the yard done, so I go around a couple times and I think about it. And the truck goes by, and I'm thinking to myself, do I need to call the cops? Is something bad about to happen? Why does this person have a weapon of war mounted to his pickup truck? Why? Why would someone have this? So I go around the yard. I was almost done. I go around a couple more times, and I think to myself, I need to get a second opinion. So I go into the house where my wonderful wife, Jess, was. She was minding to the children while I try to get this yard done. So I go in and I explain, hey, a truck with a mounted machine gun just went by. What do you think? Should I notify the authorities? I realize that this person isn't doing anything illegal, but we live near a school. We're less than a mile away from an elementary school that my youngest daughter will be attending in less than 2 weeks. A few miles away from middle school that my oldest daughter will be attending in 2 weeks. And an MF and machine gun just went by my front door. And I don't like that. It does not, I find this intimidating. Wife, please let me know what you think. Should we call the cops? I love my wife, but she was of no help, at least in this. And I'm like, hey, maybe we call the non-emergency phone number. Hey, maybe just to notify them, because I'm thinking usually when a mass shooting goes on, there's something after the fact that somebody knew somewhere, and they warned the authorities. The authorities still didn't do anything, but hey, they warned them. And I feel like I was doing, my inner civic duty. My inner Mr. Rogers was like, maybe the police need to be notified. So she works on the phone number, and I go back outside to work on the yard again, and I see my neighbor across the street, who is an older gentleman, playing with his grandson, who is about the same age as my oldest daughter. They ride the bus together. I've had dealings with this individual before, and that is a story for another time. But I thought, hey, I need to get another adult's opinion on this. So I go across the street. It's like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. Did you happen to see that truck go by that had like a mounted machine gun on it? And he goes, yep. And I ask him, should I call the cops about that? And he goes, yeah, it was a 50 caliber machine gun, but it wasn't real. And I go, okay, you sure of that? And I said, it doesn't make me feel good that whether it's real or not, kind of is, at the very least intimidating. He goes, well, I got a friend of mine. He's got a tank over on Turkey Curve, and he's done it up. I cut him off and I say, well, your friend is not driving his tank right across, the street right in front of my house. This guy's got a machine gun, trying to direct the conversation a little bit, because at this point in time, I'm getting the vibe that this guy ain't going to help me based on what he was saying and previous interactions I've had with this dude. So I was like, well, I see somebody carrying a weapon like that, makes me think that they're intending to do something that they shouldn't. This is the world we live in today. We're not far from a school. And he goes, well, maybe he thinks he needs it. And at this point in time, I'm back over by my lawnmower, and I go, well, maybe zombies. And I just start my lawnmower and go on about my business, thinking about this, realizing that this individual is of no help, and we fundamentally see the world differently. And I kind of feel like the back and forth was he wanted to get the last word in, but I guess I won with zombie turn lawnmower on. So I win. Team me wins. So I mow the yard, go back into the house. Wife has got the non-emergency number for somewhere Kentucky's finest. And I'm thinking, well, do I call this? I don't know. I tell her the story of my interaction with my neighbor across the street. she texts some neighbors that we really do like about this situation. They tell a story about how, yeah, they don't care for this neighbor either. And hey, have you seen him truck go by? And also it wasn't like military, it wasn't National Guard, anything like that. And there was a bit of an interaction with the neighbor about that too. It's just a truck that you would see driving around here in Kentucky, in anywhere. And so I'm trying to determine, hey, do I need to call the cops? Because I see somebody armed, I see a weapon like that, and if I see somebody open carrying, I perceive this as a threat. And I know that we live in Kentucky, which is an open carry state, and there's nothing I can do about it. But at the very least, I want to register some sort of complaint. So I take a shower. It's like 15 after 10 at night. I'm thinking, well, what the hell am I going to tell the police? Because I know they're not going to be any help. I know. But at the same time, my dad sense is going off. I don't like what I'm seeing. This is just a symptom of everything else that's wrong with our country, our world, our state. And it's like, at the very least, I'm going to notify the proper authorities. I pay their salaries, and I'm going to tell them what for, at the very least. So I end up calling. I was not expecting to actually get somebody. I was actually expecting that I was going to have to rattle off some kind of story for voicemail. But I got dispatch. I got I got a lady who sounded at least 20 years older than me, that at least they've smoked some portion of their life. Hey, I'm just saying, I got a Debbie vibe off the dispatch lady, not to, I don't know, be disparaging to older, Kentucky white ladies. Anyway, that's not the point. She was very nice. It was also very difficult, like, understanding her. I kind of feel like I was calling a soup can and a string. I'm hoping some of those billions for law enforcement and ICE trickle down to, I don't know, a better headset for somewhere Kentucky's dispatch. I'm maybe, hey, Donald Trump or Oprah, maybe, support somewhere's men and ladies in blue. Anyway, so I described the situation to her, and I was also looking for guidance. I'm trying to get another adult's appraisal of this situation, because I just see a machine gun go by my house, and I don't like it. So, and I don't know, is this threatening? It definitely makes me feel uneasy. So I described the situation, and she's like, well, sir, do you feel like your life is in danger? And I'm like, not at this time, but it definitely makes me feel uneasy, and I want to register a complaint. And it did feel a little bit like I was talking to an NPC, a little bit, a polite NPC, but still an NPC. And I ended up talking to her, describing the situation for, like, I don't know, 5-ish minutes, something like that. And eventually she was like, hey, I'm going to give your name and number to a cop in the area, and they're going to get back to you. And she did that, and I don't know, she kind of hung up on me. Anyway, there wasn't like, goodbye, have a nice day, fuck off, anything like that. It was just kind of like click. So just saying. Just, adding to the picture of this. So about 15 minutes later, a cop calls me up, and again, it's really hard to hear them. There's a bunch of, like, I'm hearing his radio in the background and so forth. It's really, it's like, yeah, I hear him better, but there's static in this soup can, and a lot of other people talking, or whatever, just a lot of noise. So I described the situation to him also. And he's like, hey, it's an open carry state. I am paraphrasing. I will get specific, but basically paraphrasing. It's an open carry state. Um, there was a gathering of, I don't know, military enthusiasts in the downtown area of somewhere, Kentucky. And he basically said this person was probably coming from there because it let out at around the time that I saw it matched up with the story that I described him to him. And so that kind of, like, he's trying to suss the situation. And I think to kind of normalize it to me, like, oh, this isn't a crazed gunman going to shoot up a school. He's just coming from the ammo sexual rally that's downtown. To make me feel better, or explain it, or think out loud. I don't know. That's what I took from it. So he said something like, hey, you can walk into Walmart with a long rifle attached to your back. It's perfectly legal. It's socially frowned upon. Law enforcement can ask them what they're doing, or if this is registered, but they're not doing anything illegal, so I can't arrest them from the cop. And I'm thinking, I'm getting exactly what I thought I would get anytime that I've talked to anybody with any measure of power in this state about open carry guns and safety. It's perfectly legal. Sorry, K, thanks, bye. And in the story, he basically he wanted to know what the machine gun looked like. I tried to describe it. I described the color of the truck, and also it was difficult trying to describe this and be helpful and answer his questions, because hey, eyewitness testimony really sucks. Memory is definitely not perfect, and I was doing the best I could on this, and to get him the information. And he, at one point, he said, if there was somebody on the machine gun, that would be like more probable cause that violence was about to occur. And that gave me insight into his cop brain, and also maybe, I guess, what to be on the lookout for. His perspective, maybe what he's been told crosses a line in the wilderness of Kentucky. Hey, I don't know. And the conversation with him was coming to a close. And just to make sure that I got what he was saying down, I was like, okay, so let me just get this straight. In the future, I can call 911, the emergency number, if somebody is driving around with the machine gun on the back of their truck, if there is also someone in the back of the truck with their hands on the machine gun? He said, yes, because we can pull them over then because that person is not wearing their seatbelt. And I bust out laughing at the officer. I laugh out loud. My daughters that were trying to sleep were very curious why I was laughing. My wife was very curious what the hell I was laughing at. And I tell the officer, thank you for that. You have made my day. Thank you for your time. I truly appreciate it. I know you're doing what you can. Bye. And that's kind of where the story ends. I find this incredibly unsettling and also really hilarious. And I'm going to leave it there. I tried to get feedback from Jess. She doesn't know what to say. I would, in future people of YouTube who will be hearing this story, reasonable gun owners, at this point in time, reasonable gun owners are similar to moderate Republicans. I view you all as largely cryptids that I don't think are real, but I still want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from gun nut bots. I think that's who I heard from the last time I posted a video just on guns and my experience. So future people, I want to know your fifis on the video about my experiences and my fifis. So I'm going to leave it there. Hey, thanks. Bye. Like and subscribe. Oh, dear God.